Whispers of the Old Market. In the coastal town of Limbe, tucked between rolling hills and the crashing Atlantic, lay a compound of age-worn houses clustered beside the old market. The compound itself was a maze of narrow paths, rust-colored tin roofs, and the kind of walls that seemed to absorb secrets. This part of Limbe bore the scent of age and echoes of untold stories. The old market, with its cracked concrete and cluttered stalls, was the beating heart of the area, pulsing with life during the day and transforming into something altogether different by night. Adjacent to this marketplace stood the cemetery, its cracked tombstones and overgrown weeds whispering of those long forgotten. The dead, they said, slept lightly in Limbe. By day, the old market was a cacophony, fishmongers shouting prices, spice vendors singing songs to draw in customers, children darting through stalls with stolen mangoes, and preachers in dusty robes warning of damnation. But when dusk fell and the last vendors packed up their goods, the market exhaled something darker. Those who lived in the compound knew this well. The first signs it began, as most strange things do, subtly. A child named Blessing, barely 5, told her mother that she saw small men crawl through their walls at night. "They come from the ground," she whispered, "with tails and big eyes. They talk like people, but move like rats." Her mother dismissed it as a bad dream. But Blessing wasn't the only one. Old Mama Pauline, who had lived in the compound since before Cameroon had independence, swore she heard whispers under her bed every Tuesday night just after the market lights were turned off, and long after the final prayer from the nearby mosque had faded. "It is not rats," she would say, holding her wrapper tight. "It is them. Witches and wizards, those who wear the faces of your neighbors by day, but crawl on their bellies by night." People chuckled at her stories, but only in the daylight. At night, they triple-locked their doors. The invisible meetings. It wasn't just the sounds, the dragging of clawed feet, the sudden scurrying in the walls, the low hums that vibrated the floorboards. It was what the compound dwellers felt, a heavy presence. Some said that if you woke up between 2 and 3 a.m., you'd see flickering shadows on your walls that danced like flames but left no light. One night, a young mechanic named Chico was returning home late. His girlfriend lived in one of the corner rooms beside the market fence, and he liked to sneak in after her parents were asleep. But that night, he never made it. He was found the next morning, sprawled across the market alley, eyes wide, mouth open, and unable to speak. Not injured, just broken. For days, he sat in silence, trembling. When he finally did speak, all he said was, "They were having a meeting. Under the ground. I saw too much." He would never say more. The story spread like wildfire. The townspeople called them the Old Ones. Not quite ghosts, not fully human. They said they lived beneath the market, inside tunnels built during colonial times, and emerged at night to gather, plot, and punish those who disrupted their peace. They had rules, and Chico had broken one: the market and the dead. The proximity of the cemetery added to the unease. Dogs would bark at empty patches near tombs. Vendors swore they saw shadows pacing between the graves before sunrise. A woman named Auntie Binta, who sold dried fish, stopped coming to the market altogether. She told her sister that her fish kept disappearing at night, but not stolen. Gone without a trace, bones, scales, all of it, as if something had absorbed it. Others spoke of seeing strange footprints, half human, half rodent, leading from the market to the cemetery gate and vanishing among the graves. That year, during the Harmattan season, a mist clung to the market every night. Not the ordinary kind, but thick and silver, and always with the smell of iron. The compound residents began to sleep in groups, sharing rooms, lighting candles, and praying aloud. The churches nearby were full on Sunday, but no one dared speak of the real reason why. The elders knew, though. The secret of the compound legend held that the compound was once the home of an old midwife named Yaya Efua, who was both a healer and a feared sorceress. She had delivered hundreds of children, but was also rumored to take their spirits in exchange for her powers. They said she was buried without a coffin, wrapped in a red cloth, under the market itself, her soul bound to the place. "They never left," said Mama Pauline. She called others to stay with her, the ones who never truly die. Those who lived near the old market eventually learned the rules. Never step outside between 2 and 3 a.m. Never pick up coins left on the road. Never speak your dreams aloud. And if you hear scratching on your window, don't look. But not everyone followed the rules. The night the market burned. One night, a group of drunk young men decided to prove the stories false. They broke into the market, carrying torches, vowing to flush out the witches. They mocked Mama Pauline and laughed at the trembling vendors. They never returned. Only one torch was found, lying near the cemetery gate, still warm, as if it had just been dropped. That week, the market burned. No one knew how the fire started, but the flames didn't behave like normal fire. They burned only certain stalls, ones that had stayed open too late, ones that sold things said to come from the other side. But not a single house in the compound caught fire, and no one heard a sound. Not the fire, not the screams, just silence. Today, the old market was rebuilt, but different now, quieter, simpler. The new vendors never stayed past sunset, and the compound remained as it had weathered, watchful, always listening. Children still hear footsteps at night, rats still crawl through walls, but some walk like men. And on some nights, just before the rooster crows, if you listen carefully, you might hear it too, whispers beneath the ground, and the sound of invisible feet brushing across your doorstep.